So now we're trying to drain the water. So I got cold coming in, and draining the 40-gallon tank to see. It was super hot, and it's uh, 120 degrees, so got to drain 40 gallons of hot out to see how long it'll take to reheat it again. More solar hot water madness. What I'm trying to do is test. So I've made a wand. I call it a solar wand out of 1-inch pipe and 1-inch nipple. I think that's 4-inch. So I take out the electrical and I put these in there. This is only a 40-gallon tank, and I'm going to see how long it takes to heat it up with the solar wand. And I'm also seeing if the PEX can take the heat. So this will be direct heat from the evacuated tubes, and right now we got the homemade solar panel shut off. That's how I shut it off. Just put a couple tarps on it, so I'll have to take the tarps off, fill it full of water. So we'll test this for a couple weeks to see if this PEX can take the heat, which I'm pretty sure it can, but you know, for the first 10 feet I would go with all copper. But let's see if we can do a heavy-duty test, and let's see how long it takes to heat up this 40-gallon tank. So that 40-gallon tank is under water pressure, which will be probably, you know, like 100 pounds under. Well, it's kind of high here, and the water pressure inside the loop is only probably at the most under 20. So let's see how it goes. Okay, it doesn't take too long to heat up. So there's the homemade flat plate, 16 foot by 16 foot. It's basically a 1-inch greenhouse collecting the heat. All the pipes are in series. 3/4 inch pipe, and I have one small little pump, probably about 1.5 gallons a minute. And then the evacuated tubes kick up the heat more, and they're at a high angle because mostly for the winter time. And then I gotta trim the trees again. Every year they grow that much, so I can get every ounce of solar heat. I don't know if that's a proper term, but oh well. So right now it's 130 degrees almost, circulating in this loop, and the water temperature is what is that? 81. Okay, I had it running through there a little bit. The water in there is a little bit colder. So right now the water is just flowing through the loop, and if we want to have it go through there, which I will in a little while. So I got city water pressure in there, 80 psi, and that shut off and that shut off. So when the water expands, probably the what is it called? Pressure relief valve should kick on. Okay, I gotta get a hose on that and collect, see how much water. That's something to do. Okay, and like I said, I'm just testing this PEX to see if it can take the heat. I'm sure it will, but I'm only, you know, under 20 psi. But maybe I'll just kick it up to see if I can get it to fail. All right, so right now we got 120 degrees coming in. What is that? 50 C Canuck. And the pressure right now is 16 psi, and a beautiful little pump, Topslow pump, is flowing nicely at, what is that, 1.5 gallons a minute. So 1.5 gallons a minute, about 20 gallons of liquid food grade antifreeze. But today I had the other pump, which is a 110 volt pump, on, because it's got more power, just to get rid of the air and circulate. But I had forgot to turn this pump on so this could flow, but luckily it was cold, and the only thing that gives it away is it's so important to have a flow meter. If you don't have a flow meter, you don't know what the heck's going on. So I saw the flow meter, this first thing I checked, was not flowing for the last 30 minutes, but luckily pardon me, it was in the morning, so no dust boat. Dust Boat, have you seen that movie? It's a submarine, World War II, Germans. Yeah, except when I have problems with my hot water, it's Dust Boat plus super hot water. But now that I've made everything, soldered everything and got rid of all the, well, some of the hoses, but this is just the bypass. I used to have these plastic hoses which worked well, but nothing beats nice copper soldered joints, so I can take all my shenanigans. Alright, this is the bypass pump. So it's a loop within a loop, a little bit smaller pump, but takes the same voltage. Well, it's a little bit high. Right now the voltage is on the 20 volt scale. That's I can't see it, 16 volts. So it hasn't so I use the same little small solar panel, and obviously it's not on right now. I got this tape to protect the flow meter because the sun just eats it up. So here's my switch. Let's see if I can, okay, when it shorts out, that means okay, the little motor's on. I put this switch because if I put a regular switch, I'll forget it's on and it'll be on all the time. So this is the cooling loop. It's a loop within the loop, and there's a high temperature switch. I think it's just up here in the middle. When it sees above 150 degrees, I think, it just turns on, just like I'm doing now. Can you hear it? And it's got, hard to get the flow right. Come on. Takes a minute, but it's got good flow. It's a gallon and a half. What's with the gallon and a half? Or is that 5.5 liters? So it's off now. And yep, it's about 140 degrees, I would say. So this cooling loop, I would say, drops the temperature. What I'm saying is it can't do it all. I have to put a tarp over top of it to help cool it off. And in the summertime, probably about 90% tarp. So that's a bit of a pain. That's something to fix. Something else to do. There's always things to do with solar hot water. So let's see if this got any hotter. Fall here on. So somehow that leak dried up or whatever, I'm not sure. I find that sometimes it's self-sealing sometimes. So right now, like I said, we got the flow shut off here and forcing it down through this loop here, which I'm testing the PEX to see if it's, so the water goes from here through here to heating this wand, and I'm trying to heat up this water, and then it goes to a second wand down here and back out to the regular flow. And I think that's 1/4 inch tubing, and the next one I'll make is a 1/2 inch, but it doesn't seem to be reducing the flow that much, so I'm happy about that. And there's a brass fitting. Maybe it should be just a little bit longer so I can get a good bite on it to turn it into the tank. But actually I just turned this, and if that tightens up a bit more, that's just fine too. So right now we just have regular hose clamps on there because we're just doing science to see how well these ones truly heat up. And I think they'll be fine. It's poor man's heat exchanger, so you can buy the regular tank and these fittings. The next one I'm getting is 1 inch to 3/4, and then I can have a better fitting rather than just filling it full of lead like I did there. I mean solder. Actually I use lead. It's not in the potable water. I like lead. Hate to say, I know it's evil, but so is a lot of things. Teflon is way easily, if you have a Teflon pan, I think you're way ingesting more poisons than, yeah, anyway, stay focused. So we'll see how these wands work. What's the pressure at now? So I've got the hose and pressure relief valve. We'll see what it kicks off at. You see a little drip there. It's just almost filling up. Okay. Oh yeah, I had a towel on there so it's not getting direct heat, radiant heat. And we got down to yeah. All right. See if I can pause this. Okay, here's one of the tanks I got from China. It wasn't bad. It was pretty strong stainless steel, but I had to tear it apart to see what. So I don't like the stainless steel. I think this is the 304 stainless steel. But otherwise, it was pretty thick, which probably lasts easily at least 10-20 years. I don't know, but this is supposed to be 1 inch, but I think it's 3/4 inch stainless steel. But actually, if you blow through it, it's kind of resistive. I think it would go one size larger, and if they could just get the coil right down to the bottom, because it doesn't heat, you're just wasting that space. What they did do is a nice, that's where the water comes in right there, which is good if you're if you have to drain your tank and let your house, like if you're if you got a camp, you can just drain. That's what I was thinking. So 120 gallons, pretty good tank, but needs some improving. Sorry, got sidetracked there. Squirrel. Okay, we're getting a full V8 power right now with the sun, I guess. Well, it's not quite overhead, but good enough. And it's still flowing. That's good. Ooh, pressure's up. It's over to 120 psi. So yeah, and the temperature is 150 degrees. See if the high temperature kicked in yet. I can't see it, but I'll just disconnect it so it can't turn on. That's what I like about the low voltage. It's only 20 volts, 50 watts, very safe. You could lick it and not get a shock. Okay, I'm not going to, but you can. But really, it's you know, it's less than 20 volts. So that's the power for that little pump. Beautiful. You don't have to hire an electrician. It's safe. It's not going to burn down your house. And then you can run the wire yourself. Okay. Ooh, it's getting hot, that PEX. It's getting hot. That's hot. Yeah, next time I'll have the nipple a little bit longer. And it's not leaking anymore, is it? Okay. I wonder what the pressure is up on top. Let's try the ray gun. It says 99, 100 degrees. It's 103, so it looks like something's going in there. And this says 109, so it's definitely sucking up the heat. So what is that, 150 psi? I think it's 150 psi, so let's see. So I got them both shut off right now, just trying to test, see how long it takes to get that up to temperature. I guess I should say this is Uponor, which is much better than this, hate to say, Home Depot PEX. I think is not as good. So if you're putting stuff on the ground, I think you want to spend more money and get a better product. I think the Uponor, Uponor, I guess it is a PEX tubing, is much better. And we're getting, darn, that's 145 psi. It's getting a little scary. Well, then they're, you know, it's kind of like a bomb. It's under pressure, but at least it's water, so it's not gonna blow up. But yeah, a lot of pressure on that. So good flow. It's 150 degrees right now. We're going using full power. Crazy. It's still putting heat in there. How much? I don't know. Is it hot yet? I don't feel it. It's not hot. I'd say it's about 70 degrees yet. It's coolish. It'll get really hot eventually. The temperature is 190 degrees, and we're trying to get heat into the solar wand. Little loop there. Somebody was concerned and said that I'd melt the Uponor, but ooh, it's hot, but it's still pretty good. I don't think it'll melt yet, and the pressure's only 120 psi, so wow, it's all, what is that, 160 psi, and the pressure relief valve has been kicking on a little bit. Is it hot there yet? It's getting warm, but takes a while. I mean, this is really super hot. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. So it comes down here, makes the loop, because we're testing the Uponor, into the heat exchanger, down through there, through the other heat exchanger, and out through the other PEX, which seems to be pretty good. So yeah, the big test, and I got my silver fire suit on. If you order them, just make sure you get them big enough, because the sizes in China are, you know, the extra large is not extra large. Tip of the day. So just so you remember, and I keep forgetting, is that it's hot water. This is 190 degrees Fahrenheit. So I burned myself a little bit. Can't see it, but ouch. So I was I thought I was turning this one. Okay, I was having the water go straight through because I wanted to see the difference in the flow, and the flow is about only about 3% better. So these little 1/4 inch pipes, because it's such a short distance, doesn't really mess up the flow that much. But the new improved ones they're going to have is much thinner, type M, and 1/2 inch. That's only a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to have better heat exchanger to see how well it works. But anyway, yeah, I was just having it go straight through, and I wasn't paying attention 100%. I turned this one on, and boiling, scalding, well, I guess not boiling, scalding water got me there, bit me. But anyway, I shut it off really fast and saved the day. But yeah, with this stuff you got to be really careful. Oh yeah, and it boosts up the pressure to 20 psi. This Uponor PEX, they call it, is fine. So I think it said it can take 200 degrees at 80 pounds pressure. So yeah, it's fine. But off the header, I would go straight down to my first device with copper, and then use the PEX. But the one thing about the PEX is if you get any I don't know, with the copper it can be straight, and you can angle so the air vents, so the air doesn't get trapped. And I can when this was cooler, I don't know, can you hear a little bit of bubbling? So there's a bit of air bubbles in there, but with a higher pressure that might have chased them out. It'll take a while to get the bubbles out, because I changed this part yesterday. So to close this off and force it through the hot water tank. So the overflow, I don't know if you can see that, it's about 1/3 of a gallon, was how much water leaked out of the high pressure 40 gallons from cold to, I think, about 170 degrees. So there you go. So that could be, you know, for your expansion tank. Good afternoon. We're doing another solar crazy stuff. So we got the solar hot water coming down and going straight through right now. So we're taking a hot here, turning that on. Got a temporary hose clamp. So we're taking the heat and running it all the way down over there and doing another science test. And so we'll close this off. Now we're forcing the water down into the hot water tank. So I think I said it before, I've got my own homemade solar wand. You take out the electrical on the tank and then drill. This is brass, so it's really easy to drill through it. It's workable, and you just put another one, a tube within a tube, and you're able to get the heat in that way.